they're probably a bit crazy. And so I'd suspect that he's the type of person who like keeps hidden stashes of things or like hides them away, squirrels stuff away. I want to see if I can find any of Bobbert's possessions in here. I don't know, maybe see if clues to point at if he was awake at the time of the incident.
Give me some more details. What are you looking at in the room? What are you like focusing on? Where are you looking for?
I want to look for hidden objects or hidden pouches, hidden boxes. Maybe
Sure,
check
but
for
where?
loose floorboards.
So you're looking at you're looking at the floor, at the floorboards and such.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of get at you, but because Janice says eyes, I'm going to mention that the room does have 2 beds and it has that 1 cupboard. And Mervyn says that they already looked into the cupboard and it's or the wardrobe, and it's empty. But you can see, one thing that you notice is that one of the beds is unmade and one is made, as in somebody sleeping in one, not sleeping in the other.
Okay.
Do you still want to focus on the floor?
No. Then I'd like to focus on searching the unmade bed first.
All right.
Like,
yeah.
Under the mattress, under the pillows. I mean, see if you like the classic trick. You like cut a little slit in the mattress and then slide the pouch of gold coins in there or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me an investigation roll here as well.
Mm-hmm. Is Mervyn helping me?
Yeah. Mervyn's being like, look there. So yeah, you go through the bed. You don't find anything out of the ordinary there. Somebody's been sleeping. It's a little smelly. Otherwise, nothing there.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll check the other bed then.
All right. Well, this one's easy. Because as you take the covers off, you notice that there's like the covers are pretty thick and like it's hard to say if there's something thin underneath them. So you hadn't noticed it just by looking at it. But as you take the sheets off, or the covers off, you see that there's like a travel bag there, a pretty small one that's like flattened out and emptied out, and then there's also a bunch of clothes that have also been flattened out there. Clearly, like somebody's emptied their bag and a bunch of clothes, very different kinds of clothes, by the way, and clearly tried to hide them inside of this or in this bed. And as you investigate the bed further, you don't find anything else out of the ordinary. You find, you just find this kind of laid out on the sheets. And as I mentioned, there's very different kinds of clothes. You see clothes that would be fit for some sort of nobility. You see clothes that would be more likely on some peasant. You see clothes of different sizes as well.
Different sizes?
Yes.
Uh-huh. I cast Detect Magic. Is there any magic?
No magic. They are completely unmagical clothes.
Huh. Very interesting.
Gotta stop making such good mysteries, dude. Too many factors. can't tell if things are red herrings or not. This is great.
I mean, I gotta tell you right now, I am so disappointed in all of you that nobody has asked about the fish,
The fish?
in the bar.
Wait, what? In what?
In the bar over there.
I mean, you have to have the red herring somewhere.
Next, just sitting up next to the cleaver. It's just hanging out.
Of course, I put a red herring in there.
To the map, I really like the design of the map in general. I like the way that the fireplace logically lines up and everything.
Yeah, this is a really
thank you.
I'm liking this a lot. Thank you.
Does Janice, I mean, out of character, I know that there are shapeshifters in D&D,
Mm-hmm.
but does Janice know that like changelings exist?
Now, that's a great question, because I was thinking about this earlier, specifically this, and I came to the conclusion that for not all of your characters would probably not know necessarily about changelings. But I did like that's going to be up to you whether your character might know about their existence or not. But I did think that Janice is one that would probably know, because you've had like a noble upbringing, and you know about the slaves.
Janice was trained for like intrigue and spymaster type stuff, and the ability to disguise yourself as something or someone else, coupled with the Drow's penchant to kidnap exotic races for slaves.
Yes.
I could see her knowing about this.
Wait, that's your family's pastime?
What? No, but that's like just a society.
I mean, yes.
I don't know much about Drow, so I'm learning constantly from you. I did not really. We enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it when
mushroom farmers, and now you're.
I thought you just like we have a palace. We're in the dark. It's fun. It's fun and scary.
I really loved it when Donnie was asking Janice about like how parenting works.
I assume you have a parent. I have no idea. So I just know Fred's got a seemingly absentee father and a dragon for a mother. So I'm not sure how
even more absent.
Which
I mean, you'll notice that Janice tactically avoided answering all of those questions.
Because all I know is that that's the case for Fred, and that Mort is an orphan. Like, that's all I've learned from Mort. And I haven't learned anything else about Mort's pack besides that he's an orphan. So I'm just like, I assume you have a connection to your family. That's hilarious. But anyway,
I think we're 50% orphans now. That I think.
Anyways, Janice, you would know about changelings. The depth of your knowledge, maybe not so much, but you, and again, this is something you can choose whether your character is aware of or not, but what you at least know is that changelings are creatures who have the ability to shapeshift, and they can take the form of other similar creatures, so other humanoids. They are humanoids, medium-sized humanoids. So they would be able to mimic others of the same, like other medium-sized humanoids. And you know that they don't really ever show up in their like true form, which is why most people would not necessarily know about them, because I'm not going to say, in fact, like as you know, a true fact how many changelings there are, but that's like the mystery, because you wouldn't be able to know, because who knows, like half the people you've met might have been changelings, and you wouldn't know.
Everyone's a changeling except for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume Janice knows that changelings exist, like in a security sense, like you have to be aware that this is a thing that is possible, and she's heard about changeling infiltration having happened before, but Janice also knows that there are completely racially bound methods of disguising one's appearance. like potions or artifacts that can achieve the same effect.
And even Mervyn can just use disguise self right now and be like, hey, I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
Although, does disguise? I think disguise self has less flexibility than a changeling does because it's an
Yes.
illusion, not like we
Yeah, and
wouldn't be able to
disguise.
wear bigger clothes.
versus alter self.
You could wear bigger clothes. They just wouldn't fit you. But disguise self is a low level illusion spell. There's also higher versions that can do kind of similar things. But and of course like polymorph spells and such. But yeah, for disguise self, the thing is that you can seem like a different size. You can look like you are bigger. But if somebody tries to touch you, their hand will go through until they like hit the real you, and that breaks the spell.
Just out of curiosity, though, Duke, just comparing disguise self and alter self, if you're like a skinny, small person and you disguise self to look bigger, and you put on those extra clothes that don't fit you properly, do they look like they fit the bigger version of you?
So the clothes you have on, what I meant with you can put bigger clothes on is that you can, well, anybody can do that. But disguise self changes your clothes illusionary.
Okay,
yeah. So with disguise, with the spell disguise self, you don't need any clothes.
You're just walking around in an illusionary double, basically.
Yeah.
So you like if you had a hat on in the disguise, it wouldn't actually be there. So someone could put their hand through the hat. That would then go through empty space.
Well, this raises all sorts of questions about our friend Bobbert, although I don't know exactly how helpful they are.
Mervyn nods and just says, "You are very wise, Janice."
Yes. I'm gonna go back downstairs. Meet up with Donnie and Feared again. And of course, Mervyn and Mort. So, do we want to ask a couple people, or no? You guys wanted to try.
You have no idea about this, but just FYI, guys, I was thinking we get this dead body over into your room. Like I'll sleep on the floor. You guys can have the beds in here, but like you guys have no reason to suspect this like actual elf family, correct? Like these are clearly some grieving parents, from what I can tell. Is that what you that the same vibe you're getting, Janice? Or you get a different?
I mean, can I determine if I think they're acting?
I mean, you haven't really interacted with them, so no.
No, okay.
No, you'll have to actually.
From what we've.
How about this? Let's just assume that the dead daughter of the two parents of hers probably are, like, at least there's a good chance that they're legit in terms of their grief. I say we get them out of the room. We go through a second round of questioning with some high profile suspects. I don't know what you saw up there, Janice, but those 3 rooms on the right, south of the family that's living in the first room, they all seem a bit sus to me. We got to talk to the Dragonborn too. So I say we get the family out of here. We go through a second round of questioning. Is there anything you would like to share that you think after having potentially gone through these rooms? Any extra details? Bless you. Or not. I don't know if that was a sneeze or a cough.
Well, 2 things that come to mind is, first of all, there's something with Bobbert. We should ask him some more pointed questions. I'm getting the feeling that his initial presentation was something of an act, maybe. And something else we might want to ask is if the bottle of wine found next to that's near the victim, is that one that can be acquired from the innkeepers, or does that have another source? Although we can investigate that if you guys manage to get the parents to move to somewhere else.
Yeah. I think we need to get the parents out of here so we can probably look at the scene of the crime. I'm gonna try and just move the girl and nothing else around her. But Fred, you ready to spit those facts?
Yes, always.
3, 2, 1, break. Okay. Fire starters. Let's go.
So with Donnie, we will walk over to the thing, a respectable 1.5 meters away or something. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
And then quietly ask, would you like us to help you move her to a quieter place?
The mother actually first is about to say something when then the father just looks at you again angrily and just says what is it with you people? Will you not just leave us alone? Let us be here. My wife is crying. I'm crying. Just leave us alone. Just everybody out of here.
Donnie's just gonna go with, "Hey, listen, bud. I get it. It's tough, but here isn't the place." And I'm gonna go pick up the daughter.
The father will attempt to stop you. So
I will
give
fight.
me a strength check to sort of get through them.
1 sec, because Donnie's character
I
page.
could have cast suggestion.
Strength check, you said?
Yes, strength. Pure strength. All right.
Okay.
So the father attempts to sort of just get in your way as you come in there and just tries to like grab you and just screams no, and you overpower them though. So do you just like throw them to the side or?
No. Donnie is not that aggressive. I'm gonna carry them over to the room that like over here that everyone else is staying in, and I'm gonna lay her on the bed on this bed.
So no. I mean, what are you doing to the father though?
Oh,
because
I'm just gonna act like he's like a toddler who's trying to wrestle with me. I'm just gonna like literally walk right through him and scoop up his daughter, and I'm gonna try and hope that once I have his daughter in my hand, he's not gonna.
You're not overpowering him to that degree. So you need to like I'm asking you, what are you physically doing to remove the father from your way, because they are like on you and they are stopping you, so you got to do like something.
I'm just gonna stiff arm him back to his spot where you're like, listen, I'm giving you all some privacy the best way I can, and I'm gonna just push him to the side, pick up his daughter, and try and not be so tactful with the pushing him aside, but be tactful with the picking up portion.
All right. The father sort of trips down on the floor and just is just silent and just stares at you in like disbelief, and the wife is also like looking at the husband, being very confused, and they're just silent at this as Donnie grabs the kid's body and takes it over. You drip some blood on the way.
While I'm carrying her over, can I like try and give her a look-see while I'm just like cradling her in my arms? If I see anything aside from like what I would expect to be blunt force trauma of falling off a railing, like are there any like scorch marks, slashing marks, things that wouldn't have happened if you just
give me a perception check.
There we go. Ain't bad.
You do not.
Okay. Then I'm gonna carry her over to the other room, lay her in that southmost bed, and as I walk out, assuming the parents followed us at all, I'm just gonna try.
No, they are still on the floor there.
Okay. Then as I enter back into that space around them, I'll just be like, "Hey, my condolences, If you want some time alone with your daughter, she's in that room over there.
The elves are just sort of huddled together. They don't really react to you.
Can you crowd control them over there?
Sure. I'll kind of like go behind them, so I'll repositioned over here roughly, and try and just like in both like swarming them with my arms, kind of get like, hey, you want to be with her? Come on, and try and push them toward like not aggressively push them, but try and lead them towards that room with her.
As you are sort of coming over them, the mother just starts screaming and just screams at you and says, leave us alone, get away from me. And the as that happens, the father then just gets up and suddenly seems to have like a second wind about it, and just like gets up and is like ready to fight you, being like, get away from us.
Can I grapple both of them or only one of them at a time? Can I try and push them together, or does it have to be individual?
Well, you could technically do it on both, I guess, but it would be much harder.
Why do they have to be grieving parents and not logical thinkers?
The as this is happening, the innkeeper steps up and just shouts out to you and says, you Total, please just let them be. Can't you see you're being very scary right now? Even I'm scared of you right now. Please stop. You're scaring everybody.
While this is happening,
and after the innkeeper says that, Barbert yells out from the corner and yells out, "Yeah, how do we know you're not the one who killed the kid? You're the one who's tampering all the evidence right now. Yeah, how about that?"
I'm just gonna turn around, face Bobbert, and just like give him a death glare. And then, as I turn back around, I'll look to Fred and be like, "A little help here, maybe." And I'm gonna try and grapple the elven wife.
Or we can just leave them standing in the middle of the room, staring at space.
If they are just sitting in the middle of the room crying, it's the exact same thing when their daughter was here. Their daughter just happens to be in a different room.
All right, you attempt to.
I'm okay with everyone being afraid of a big giant turtle who's directing traffic, but like Donnie's gonna try and have a purpose with what he's doing. I'm gonna try and grapple the wife and carry her to where her daughter is. That's and hoping that maybe somebody deals with the husband. That's what I'm gonna go for.
So roll athletics.
Athletics 25.
All right. You have grabbed the elven woman. The father then comes at you and just throws a punch at you. And that's going to be 4 against your AC.
Okay, so no.
That's so the hit probably lands, but just doesn't really do much. But yeah, they
good combination usually doesn't.
Yeah, they just hit you and just scream out, just let go of my wife, you brute.
While this is happening, can I go and take a look at the body?
I don't want to hear any sass about Donnie not being tactful for the dead.
I mean, you can make your way over there. Yes.
Okay, because I mean, I assume that I was done with investigating, so I want to.
Bunch
I
of
mean,
sociopaths.
Janice wants to investigate, and now might be the best time.
Yep. I mean, this is actively happening, so you don't necessarily have much time. We'll see how much alone time you'll have. We'll see kind of afterwards.
Okay, I'm not gonna go in the room yet. Then I'll just actually, I don't know what Johnny is doing with the parents, but yeah, sure. I mean, I guess I'll go in and check. You mentioned that when Donnie was carrying the victim, there was some sort of blood trail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. The body is unfortunately baked into the map because I gotta be honest, I was not expecting you to move the body. Now, in hindsight, I should have, but I actually did not expect you to do that. But yeah, the body is now over there, and there's a blood trail leading over there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so what's Johnny doing?
I'm gonna carry the wife while the husband gets upset, and kind of as I carry her, kind of look over my shoulder at Fred, hoping that he can calm down the husband maybe, and try and drag her towards the room where I'm like, if I can get her all the way to that room, I'm literally gonna like just let go of her in the doorway and hope that she stays grieving near the body. I'm not gonna try and force her there. This is Donnie and his strength but lack of empathy going for this. So.
You so possibly Donnie, but probably at least Fred. You notice that a lot of the people seem pretty outraged by this whole thing that's happening, and Thom Stonebrook, for example, has just like sort of gotten up from a chair and just like looks ready to fight here, ready for some sort of brawl to break out. And
I'm glad he's ready.
And yeah, as you keep carrying the wife who's just like struggling and just hitting you and just saying like let go, the father's gonna keep trying to just punch you. So I'm gonna say
Okay.
they'll go in for like if you take them all the way to the room or to the door. I'm gonna say they'll take like I'll give them like 4 attacks in here.
Sure. Totally.
Four punches.
Go for it.
And that's another miss and a miss and a miss and 17 against your AC. Is
There
that
he
it?
goes. He one hit just gets me right in the jaw. He knocks
There
me.
we go. You're dead.
The 83 hit point punch from.
You take 1 point of damage.
I'll take it. I'll drop him off, and I'll just try and be like, "Hey, my condolences. The world's a nasty place." And hope and assuming that I saw Janice run past me to go check the dead body.
Janice, hearing this struggling walk, is going to make herself scarce before they arrive. Then.
Yeah, you weren't able to really see anything on the body, anything out of the ordinary. You looked at like you did a quick search and you couldn't really see anything that would indicate foul play. You weren't able to take any blood tests for poison or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And as we walk back around, Donnie's just gonna talk to Janice about, "Hey, listen, I have established myself as the bad cop. Go be a good cop and figure out who the fuck did this."
The elves disappear into the room with with the body.
And I'm gonna generally mark up in my standard kind of eyeing everyone who's a suspect position by the doorway. We're not looking at the body at all. Look at the people.
The innkeeper takes a step forward and just says, I mean, I did say that this whole situation was bad having everybody here, but what I was thinking was moving everybody else away from here, not just attacking the family like that. What were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking I'm trying to find justice and not preserve the appearance of my bed and breakfast, Aramis, okay? That's what your boy Donnie was thinking.
Bobbert
talk about
yells
it outside afterwards, okay? But like you asked us to handle it. Don't get mad at me when I'm handling it the way that I know how. Capiche?
Bobbert yells out and just yells out so that everybody here can hear, and just says, clearly these clowns are not up for the task of figuring out what's going on here. Do we have anybody who's better at this stuff around here?
I'm just going to turn to Bobbert and be like, if there wasn't a murder mystery afoot, I would still punch you in the face. You want to go with it, Bobbert? You want to learn to pipe down? Maybe a little bit. That's all I got. Okay?
The innkeeper's wife screams out and just shouts out and says, "Can everybody just calm down? Why is everyone being so violent all of a sudden? Just calm down."
Oh, Bella, I'm glad you asked. There was a murder. That's why we're all on edge, okay? It's a pretty simple equation. It's not like this is rocket science. I don't know if rockets exist in this world, but why are you all on edge? Because a girl was killed. Okay, it's not hard. Okay, you can't ask me to solve your problems and get mad at me for going about my own way. Okay, I acknowledge your feelings; they are valid. That's all I got. Okay, I don't know how to move past that stage of us getting to know each other. But let us do our thing. We'll all have a good night's sleep afterwards. Okay.
Aramis is looking at like Janice and Frid and just like doesn't say anything, but it seems to just be sort of like waving out, being like, "Hey, somebody do something! Like, control this person."
I didn't kill nobody. Okay.
Well, Bobbert shouts out, "Would somebody who killed somebody not just say that they didn't kill somebody? So it was you then."
I'm gonna ignore this byplay and to appear like a professional who knows what they're doing, I am going to professionally inspect the site of the crime for clues, not only investigating, but also trying to, I don't know, give the appearance to the watching crowd that I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can roll out an investigation. Somebody, Mort or Mervyn, is likely helping you out with that.
Okay. Of Mort, our medical expert, 24.
Yeah, so you pull out your magnifying glass and your Sherlock Holmes hat just to appear like you're doing something, and yeah, you look over the situation. You instantly, like, obviously you see that the situation has been sort of contaminated a little bit by the fact that the body's been moved. There's people who've been like in contact with the body and everything, and all of that. So you sort of realize that you need to take things with a bit of a grain of salt here, whatever you find. But as far as you can tell, there isn't really anything. You're not really finding anything that you didn't already know.
Mm-hmm.
Like you find that the floor is cracked from the body hitting it. likely head first. You see blood, and you see the blood sort of mixing in a little bit with the wine. There's you would estimate about like half a bottle of wine spilled from there, and yeah, the wine bottle itself is broken. It is a bottle that you can see in the bar as well. Or same brand, I guess.
It has like a label on it or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
Good. And as I'm wrapping up this investigation, can I like subtly take a look around to see how the audience is reacting to me standing around with a magnifying lens, basically?
Yes. General, if you want any particular people, go ahead, but generally like half of the people are not looking at you. They're not paying attention to you. Some of them are looking at like what you're doing, but yeah, it kind of depends. Well, I guess I should just go through them real quick. That Bobber is looking at what you're doing. Aramis is looking at what you're doing. Belladonna is looking. Thom is not looking. Sloptic is looking. The Drow is looking. Philrak is not looking. Calderon is not looking. Alpen is looking. Gian and Garrett are not looking. Oh, and Tony is also not looking. So the ones who are not looking don't really have any reaction to it.
Yeah. Okay. And looking upwards at the balcony, can I judge basically the taking into account the height from which she fell and where she landed? Can I make an estimate with what type of velocity she went over the railing or went through the railing?
I don't know if that's really within your
I'd
means
assume if she
to.
was like pushed, she'd land further this direction than if she just straight fell.
I mean, it is. Well, she wasn't thrown over.
Okay.
Nobody like pushed her 5 feet or 10 feet. Seems pretty directly underneath it.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the next step is going to involve interviewing people again. What do you guys think, Donnie, Feared?
I think it's time to use the spell slots. I don't think there's too much more we can really do without magic, given our situation here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've established myself as the most hated man in the room. And keep in mind, there's a murderer in here. Okay.
We've killed people
in self-defense. Either way, I agree.
Looks at Janice.
Either way, Janice, you go ahead and, well, I guess, who are you thinking for second round interviews? Everybody or just a few?
Well, I mean, first we can. It might be interesting to take another stab at Bobbert. Um,
Are you talking literally or figuratively when you say take a stab at Bobber? Because I am down for either at this point, because that man is on my nerves.
um, it depends. I mean, there's some clues about his room that I'd like to ask him about. And maybe asking him about those things might loosen his tongue. We can maybe figure out if he actually saw something. Um,
Okay. Now here's the question: are you going to go good cop, bad cop for this, or what are we feeling? Because we could always leave Mort out to run security. I go in there with you, and I just look all big and buff while you try and ask him nice questions. And if he gets Riley, I'll bop him in the nose. Like that's an option. What do you
well, I
feel?
think it's important that Feared is part of the questioning, not only due to his interpersonal prowess, but also due to the potential application of magic. Um, so, I mean, what do you think, Feared? Do we want to do the interviews as three
Um,
people?
yeah, you mean Donnie.
How about this? I'll just guard the door. I'll be quiet, and if things get Riley, I'll try and put them back in order through what
Yeah,
we call
you can,
the
you want to
scaled
stand.
physics.
Cool.
Sounds good. But I'll let you all do the talking. I'm gonna try and just be the strong, silent type. Um, by the way, Fred, when you went out to the outhouse with that girl, did you check the outhouse before and after she was in it to make sure that she didn't leave anything, or what? Or do you?
No, I'm not the kind of person that goes around looking into the depths of a um, water cupboard.
Oh, you
Um,
haven't tried that. I would highly recommend you try it at least once. It can be an eye-opening experience. But either way,
I
okay,
imagine
noted.
it might be.
Noted though, noted. Okay.
Let's get Bobbert then and take him in for a round.
All right. Sorry, I'm moving everybody in here. Before you get Barber in there, I will mention that Detect Thoughts is a spell that is noticeable when you cast it. So
Yeah.
you can choose to cast it before or then do your tricks, of course.
Um,
I think I want to try this interview. I mean, before we pull Bobbert in, obviously, I'm gonna say. I don't
Yeah.
know what you think, but I
I've
think
told Janice and the group about my ability to do this, and I've said that if Janice wants me to do it, then go ahead and give me the signal, and then I will pay attention to it. And I also want to check. You can use one of your body to make. Okay, so I have 2 uses of that left, right? I could also do that.
how many times can you cast Detect Thoughts?
Um, I have 2 third level spell slots. No, 2 second level spell slots remaining, but I can also use a higher level spell slot. It doesn't get any bonuses from what I can see, but I still have a total of 6 spell slots above second level available.
Okay, so I'll
It
signal
essentially
you then when, if, or I mean, you can decide yourself, obviously, if it's necessary. But is this spell harmed by the person knowing that it's being cast on them?
Um,
I mean, obviously they might
Not
not like it, but
yeah. Not there's no particular. I mean, they do get a wisdom saving throw for it, so I think like if they know it's coming, then actually I would maybe give them even an advantage on the saving
so
throw.
would Feared get an advantage if he basically surprise or stealthily casts detect thoughts or something?
No. As I said, if they know it's coming, they will get an advantage. You're not going to get an advantage just with a normal use of the
So
spell.
I have two
What if
uses.
what if we waited till he was almost in the room? So he's like here, and then he casts it. Is it an advantage or a straight
It's
roll?
1 minute
But it
concentration.
can go.
Yeah, but
Or-
as I said, if they know, you can cast it before they arrive. Though, of course, the 1 minute timer will start at that point, so you will have less time to use it. And also to establish, I'm going to actually time the conversation with the timer. If you use that, so that you only have the 1 minute to use it. And I will pause the timer whenever I'm explaining what the thought process is on the other side. But the actual like talking between you and NPC is going to be timed at 1 minute. And
Okay. And like,
I mean, what we could do is if we have, I think we can, now that we have some actual physical clues, we can get further in the questioning than we did before. Maybe Feared, you can like briefly duck out of the doorway or something to
do
cast.
what? They're
But
gonna
then the
still
other
look at me.
you.
I mean, I think
if Frid jumps out of the doorway to cast it, everybody will know that you're casting spells. Because everybody else will see it, and so any further investigations, they're going to know you're casting some sort of spells. And I'm not going to I'm not saying that everybody will instantly like recognize, aha, you're casting detect thoughts, but they will know that you're casting some sort of enchantment. So
So could I
they might be.
hypothetically say, I'm going to check if you've got any magic items on you, and then say that's what I'm casting? Would in that situation they still get advantage if I'm declaring openly that I'm casting a spell, but I'm just misleading them?
It will depend. It will depend. I'm going to ask for
magic.
Yeah, I'm going to ask for a deception first of all, and then they will also be able to Arcana check you. And so some of these people might know spells.
Okay, and if you Feared, you recognize when the spell fails, obviously, right? If they save.
Yeah, because it ends the spell.
Okay.
That's only if I'm probing deeper, which is something possible to discuss beforehand. Is it better, do we think, for me to immediately probe deeper?
Well, I think from the verbiage that we want to maximize how much information we get out of the suspect when we're using the spell, and it says that it says questions verbally directed at the target naturally shape the course of its thoughts. So if we want to use it optimally, I'd suggest we ask a bunch of questions so that they're already thinking about the right thing, and then we read their mind, basically.
No, but I mean, because they can still hide it potentially.
Oh, wait, they don't get a wisdom save if you don't probe deeper.
Yeah.
But they get an intelligent. I believe, and this is just me speaking as a giant turtle, that every about 6 seconds or so, they can check how smart they are and can test it and be aware. Maybe that's just me speaking.
No, I mean, if you are just doing surface thoughts, there's so if a source, okay, because I love this combo. If a sorcerer uses subtle spell to cast detect thoughts and never probes deeper, nobody knows about it. But they will gain information from whoever they want to get the surface thoughts from, and they might be asking questions, or somebody else might be asking questions, and they are gaining information, and nobody knows anything. Nobody knows it's happening because it's just like completely invisible. And I will say that you have actually seen this happen before.
I was just going off.
I'm gonna come out
the later half of the spell, I think, where it says either way the target knows you are probing into its mind, unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts. The creature can use its action on its turn to make an intelligence check. That's what I was alluding
Yeah,
to.
that's yeah, but
It's not like a constant. We're in and we're good, but it's like a
yeah. But that's again if you probe deeper. If you just stay surface level, they will never know.
So the optimal strategy would be to have feared. If we reach a candidate that we think is really suspicious, feared casts it subtly, and then feared does the questioning.
I'm an idiot. I forgot I can convert spell slots into sorcery points. I think at this level, or maybe that's higher.
I think you can do it. It's not a very efficient conversion,
It's
but
not, but I have a 5th level and 4th level spell slots with no 5th or 4th level spells, so I'd be upcasting into them anyway. And I can't upcast a lot of my spells because they don't have upcast, so it might be useful in the situation. Not ideal or in a practical sense, but useful.
I will also just since this is the first time you're using the spell, I will also point you to the ending part of it that mentions that you can also penetrate barriers with it. So you don't need to see somebody to be able to probe their mind.
You can sit on the other side of a wall.
Yeah, you can be in another room as long as it's within range and there's not, lead between you.
So us moving time to move the body and the parents again.
Yeah.
But
super.
Just to be clear on distance, because it's not, we don't have a grid here, obviously. Would you say that about where Aramias is about the 30-foot range for us in the room? Or that's even more. Jeez. Okay.
Is this accurate? It's probably a bit big considering these beds are what?
That's actually not really bad.
Well, an 8-foot bed, yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
It is pretty accurate actually. So if for 30 feet, basically your options would be to be in the room with the elves, or then upstairs in the room above.
I could be outside.
You could lean against the wall. Or
I mean, you could be also outside in the dark.
Under the staircase.
You can outside in the dark with all the monsters.
If Fred's outside, they're still aware somebody's probing in their mind. The service, like from the initial wisdom check, right?
The wisdom check is only for the deeper.
So if surface level with no apprehension.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we could.
If I don't subtle spell it, but I'm doing it from outside the room, do they still? They don't get a save for that, do they? Just the surface level. I wouldn't need to subtle spell it then if I were outside the room.
Yeah, no. It doesn't. A subtle spell only just disguises you casting the spell.
Okay. Another thing, am I able to have more than my maximum sorcery points? Because currently I can have 3 total sorcery points, but if I were to convert a 5th level spell into 5 sorcery points, would I then have those 5 sorcery points, or would it be 3 and then the 2 are just voided?
It specifically says that you can never have more sorcery points than your level allows.
Okay.
So your maximum is your maximum.
Right. But I could still, with a bit of careful management, basically always cast. I mean, if I can just do it from outside the room, that's fine as well.
You can crouch underneath the staircase like a gremlin.
Again, if you're doing it in under the staircase or in the common room, everybody there will know that you're
Yeah, no. I
casting
mean
spells.
from
Yeah.
outside the building.
Outside, or again, there's a room just right up above, so you don't need to be outside.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying you
But
don't need to be.
I think a big advantage.
Subtle spell casts you 2, correct?
No, it cost me it cost me as much as the spell level costs.
Okay.
So yeah, 2.
Okay.
But the big advantage from this is that you are asking the questions based on their thoughts. I think that's the most powerful usage. So
Yeah.
I don't know if having you outside of the room, because you can't communicate what you're reading.
I can.
You
I've
can?
got the message cantrip, and it can go through solid objects if I'm familiar with the target and know it's beyond the barrier. So if you are sitting in a specific seat and I know where that is, I can point down through the floor at you and message you.
Yep. Although I would note to that it will slow down your process because you are then repeating something like you're doing telephone there. But I'm gonna ask you to make some decisions now.
Yep. Let's just
choose.
get right into it.
I can't really have 2 sorcery points. I can just do it from in here in the room.
Yeah, I'd leave. I wouldn't do it yet, but if we reach a point where, I mean, we can decide to do it if it's important. I'll like give you a wink.
No, what you can do is before he came in and we've had this discussion about how the spell works and whatnot, I can say, call me by my full name and say, what do you think?
Fredrickson. Fredrickson?
Yeah.
Fredrickson.
Fredrickson.
Yeah.
All right. I'll keep that in mind. Bobbert. We'll get Bobbert in here. Sit him down.
All right. I do want to say that I imagine that even though you're like subtle casting the spell, I imagine Frid will still like put your fingers to your forehead, like being like yeah, being like that, and very nobody knows what's going on.
The Professor X.
Yeah.
There's
But
always
Bobbert is in there, and before sitting down, Bubba's just like, okay, what's this now? How are you going to embarrass yourselves further?
Well, Bobbert, this follow-up conversation isn't exactly about us, it's about you. More specifically, what I found in your room. Would you mind explaining that?
Bubba says, what'd you find? My dice? You want an explanation of my dice or what? What are you coming at?
No, the other items, specifically those that you had spread out on your bed.
Bobbert says, I don't know what you're talking about. Bobbert continues saying, like I told you, I'm just a traveling salesman. I don't know what you found. How should I know?
Oh, of course. So you mean, I mean, we're all familiar with the trade, and sometimes you definitely have to take on a different role. That's just part and parcel of the job. But would you? I mean, you had so many different costumes, or sets of clothes: a nobleman's garb, that of a traveling merchant. Are these all? Do you use these regularly?
Baba says, well, what do you think I'm selling? You want some clothes? I got something that fits you.
Oh, so you're a clothes merchant now.
That's what I've been saying.
Mm-hmm. That's not what you've been saying.
I don't have in the notes that he ever said that before. Okay.
You see, let me put forth an alternate theory, Mr. Bobbert. Those are all your clothes, and you use them to swindle and cheat people from all over the land. And more specifically, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that all of those clothes being different sizes, that is quite unusual for someone of your build. I mean, some of them were smaller sized, some of them were bigger sized, and I'm convinced that you're not a clothes merchant. So, uh, would you mind explaining that particular fact?
Bobbert seems to get a little more serious all of a sudden, and just looks at you and says, "What are you talking about? Me going around all around the world swindling people? I mean, yeah, I'll admit it. I'll be the first to admit it. I tell a lie here and there, maybe get a bit of profit out of it. Everybody does it, but you can ask the innkeeper. I've been here in this inn for a long time visiting, and I haven't been traveling all around the world or anything. So I don't know what you're insinuating."
So you weren't found with your clothes and hastily pushed the girl over. Is that what you're saying?
Barbara says, what are you talking about? I haven't had anything to do with this murder. Like, why would I kill some random elf? I don't even know who they are.
Because she saw you.
Saw me doing what?
I think it's very clear.
Clearly, Bobbert, she saw you having bad customer service. She was about to report you to the authorities at Yelp and let everybody know that you are a little bit, shall we say, prickly when it comes to dealing with clothes. I got no doubt you got clothes up there. I'm just curious how you make money off them.
Bobbert seems to lose a little bit of the serious tone again and just says, "Oh, now this clown is talking again. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't. You don't know anything, do you? That gnome out there, they're the one who should be doing this investigation. I'm telling you, they seem to know what they're doing. You're just making this up as you go, aren't you? Admit it. Come on."
I am, and that's what makes me a dangerous man, Bobbert. Is you can never trust a man who has no idea what he's doing 10 seconds before. Okay? Okay? It's not my fault that he chose a room that was on the top floor, which is the same place someone was killed. I am sorry that I'm here based on stipulation as the one who's running this investigation / our team. Okay? You can get sassy or you can get squashy. Which one you want? You want to get squashed? That's fine. I'm okay with it.
Baba says, well, I mean, the gnome clearly... we've been talking about this stuff out there in the common room. The gnomes been sleeping, their guards been outside of their door. How could they do it? Obviously, they are innocent. The gnome has nothing to do with any of this. They could clearly do this much better than any of you. I get it that I'm suspicious because I do my stuff, but that noble hoity-toity gnome person could probably crack this case in a moment. Just go ask them who did it and they'll tell you.
I have no idea what my friends asked him beforehand, but I'll point out one thing to you there, Bobbert, okay? You illustrated that maybe the gnome could figure it out all right now. I don't disagree with you. I just have been put in a situation where I'm supposed to solve a problem, okay? If you want to continue being sassy, I can get a little slappy over here. But if you want to let us just do our job as some fine, honest working civilians that we are, I think you can appreciate that we have limited information to run on. And if not, maybe I'll have to deal with you in the morning. Capiche?
Bobbert sort of leans back on the chair and just throws his hands in the air and it's just like, all right, just ask whatever you have to ask and I'll be out of here. Just Let's get this over with, okay? I didn't do it. There. What else do you want to know?
Do you have an official vendor license for all of the clothes that you have in your possession? I happen to be quite a stickler when it comes to what allows you to be a seller of procured goods, and I'm curious if you have the proper paperwork.
Robert looks at you and just laughs a little and no, I don't got any paperwork. What are you expecting?
I was expecting somebody who obeyed the tax laws of this country. Apparently, I'm in the realm of a bit of a scoundrel. Duly noted, I'll let my friends at Redonia know that you are avoiding appropriate taxation for the representation which you ask for. Okay?
Baba says, yeah, go ahead.
Will do.
Why are you happy or to let that be known?
Baba says, well, I don't know what your friend here is imagining, but I trust that you would maybe have picked up on the fact that maybe all of those clothes, maybe I haven't gotten them exactly like, maybe they aren't exactly like legally mine, but I trade them off, as I said, I sometimes tell some lies to make some money. Is that, am I doing a crime here? Any crimes? What? No? Okay.
I'm just confused as to why you're on the high and mighty yelling at us when you are also what we call a thieving vagrant. Okay? So perhaps retract the splinter from your own eye before you get mad at the entire stump in somebody else's. Okay?
Baba says, Hey, I'm no vagrant, okay? I live just a couple of miles that way on a farm, okay? I got a home. Do you got a home?
No, that's what makes me a dangerous man. I call everywhere home. All I'm seeing is somebody who's admitted to us that he's willing to steal things in order to make a profit. Sounds like a criminal to me. I would appreciate if you don't give me a reason to bop you in the face. Okay?
Tillman, we can't hear you.
I was stalling for Janice to get back for the good investigation.
I thought I was
doing what Donnie would do.
Yeah, I thought I was connected the entire time, but you guys weren't responding to what I was saying, and I was a bit confused.
You ran away from me.
Sorry.
Happy to have you back. What you got?
Yeah.
So did you hear us that whole time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good.
I was trying to cut in, but then you guys kept talking, and I was a bit confused.
I was just trying to stall for you to get back. For you to do
okay, thank you.
In all honesty.
The tack I was on was, well, Bobbert, the big question for me is there anything you can do to prove your innocence beyond a reasonable doubt? Because the way I see it, no matter what evidence comes up, if say we find out, it was I don't know, Philrak who pushed the elf off of the balcony, how do we know that that was actually Philrak? I mean, someone of your talent could presumably fit any possible description for the perpetrator of this crime.
Robert looks at you sort of in disbelief, and it's just like, what? What are you talking about? How could I be passed off as the big Dragon Ball lady? What? I don't know about you black elves, but I don't know, maybe you like to partake in some hallucinogenic substances. I don't know. Are you high? What are you talking about?
I think you know exactly what I'm
Can I
talking
insight
about,
check
Robert.
what she said? Or he said even.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna get much from that.
uh yeah what what to say? I mean, you think Baba's being completely like there's no lie there. Like Baba is being like, hey, look at me.
Okay.
I do not look like a
mention-
dragonborn.
At mention of Janice's race specifically, Donnie's gonna turn around and like get all up in Bobbert's face and just be very clear that does not matter. Like I don't care where the Inquisitor comes from. You're gonna answer questions or you're gonna get bopped. Okay? You can insult my friend again, and you'll see how it goes for you. And very close.
Do you wanna roll an intimidation on that?
Oh yeah, that +1. Let's go. That didn't go through for some reason. Huh. Oh, there. Okay, 5 and 12. Either way, not too good. I don't know why I was delayed on my end, but yeah.
Yeah, it came delayed here as well. Baba just says, okay, I'm sorry. Hey, get out of my face. Okay, sorry. I've heard things about, the
Robert,
Underdark. It's a scary place.
Oh, yeah.
Robert, the Underdark is a scary place, and it's also a place that knows about your kind. So I don't think that this act that you're pulling will fool me.
Baba says, my kind? An honest merchant?
Of course,
A middle-aged man? What
yes,
kind?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna look at Janice quite confused myself.
You see, okay, yeah. You see, where I'm from, one of my roles was providing security or ensuring that the wrong people didn't enter certain places. And there are many ways, of course, to infiltrate a place. You would presumably know this. There are conventional means, magical means. There are invisibility spells. There are ways to teleport vast distances. However, there are also ways to disguise oneself or to perhaps shift one's appearance around from one configuration to another. And this collection of garments that you have upstairs, well, to me it tells a pretty damning tale.
Bobbert says, okay, look, I'm gonna level with you. Completely honest. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Alright? Ready? I am a bit of a mess. I've lived here around this area my whole life. My dad was a farmer. My brother took over the farm. He's been taking care of the farm. Technically, I should be helping there, but that life never really was for me. But I still just lived here. I mean, I help around the farm when I can, but I try to get some more money, some excitement from this place, some other taverns around here, but just, running a few scams here and there. But we're talking about we're talking about card tricks, not magic. I don't know what you're expecting me to do. I don't know any magics. I'm a simple farm person. I mean, whatever you're saying, I mean, it's going over my head, to be honest. I'm a quick talker, but you've got some problems, friend. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fredrickson, do you want to perhaps check for magical items or something like that, just to confirm this tale, of course?
I believe 20 minutes ago you guys did that already.
No.
That's the notes that I have of this investigation suggest it's already done, but feel free.
I haven't cast the spell.
I'm just going off of Kate's notes. I don't know.
No, yeah. The last time you did do that.
I just saw detect magic. Detected got nothing from them either way.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not asking Fredrickson to actually cast detect magic.
Ooh, interesting.
But the way you worded it, he's gonna expect me to cast a spell, so I can't subtle spell it now. I'm just gonna regularly cast thingy my bobby known as detect thoughts and hope that he doesn't know his arcana.
All right. So I am going to start the timer. But yeah, right off the bat, like I'm not timing it yet. I'll time it only when you are talking or the NPC is talking in conversation. Yeah. But the like Barbara's instantly like shocked at this, like you're starting to cast spells and is like seems nervous instantly about this. Jake, what were you going to say?
Can I make an insight check on his recent monologue about what he feels like with his family? Does that feel legit, or does it feel?
Inciting what? What?
Like, is he being genuine when he says that, like, he has his father and his brother are humble farmers that are doing this, and he's just making money on the side? Like, does that seem like a legit?
Yeah. You can roll your insights.
I don't know why it's so delayed today, but it's a rolling. It's going on.
It's rolling.
It's rolling. How delightful. Tim.
Yeah.
Far away. Roll 20. Someone's in headquarters rolling dice.
Maybe today. That's what it seems like. But
as far as you can tell, it seems like a completely reasonable, legit story. Like it's everything you've seen so far seems to like corroborate the story. It's like this person clearly seems to be local and all of that.
Okay. Based on that feedback, Donnie would back up like a foot or two, like not be cowering in his presence, but still be nearby, like but a little bit softer.
Yeah.
After feeling
okay.
While the detect thoughts is happening, so just
okay. So detect thoughts is on now. Go.
Well, does he immediately think, or does that not?
Yes, I guess yes. Baba does immediately
He's a Zen
think.
master. He just
you're right. So right off the bat, what you can like tell is that Baba's like surface thoughts are just like right now like detecting magical items. Like what are they talking about? Like that's what he's thinking right now. Like what kind of X-ray machine are they putting him into?
Mm-hmm. So feared. Anything unusual about him?
Can't see any magical items currently. You gonna ask me, or am I meant to?
Yeah, is anybody gonna say anything?
Does he react to that, or?
Oh, you're waiting on dupe. Okay.
I mean, you'll want to use your words right now, because that's the big thing. I can tell you about, like, again, like, his body language is going to be nervous. You're casting spells, you're interrogating, his body language is nervous. You don't need to talk about that. You need to be asking questions because your time is running.
Okay.
It's not running right now because I
Oh.
paused it, but like, you
okay.
need to be talking because you got 1 minute, and then the detect thoughts is out. So
And that is
go.
why I shut up. So there's that.
So you have no magic,
yeah.
and you didn't have anything to do with this.
As you ask that question, the surface thoughts sort of shift again into, like, shift into the territory of magic, and like, Bob is just, like, thinking currently, like, I don't know any magic. What are they talking about? This is maddening. By the way, Tillman and Jake, close your ears to this information because you obviously don't know it. But yeah, those are his, like, thoughts right now. And yeah, Bobbit says, I don't, again, I told you I don't know any magic. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, come on, what are you?
Mhm.
This is ridiculous.
So you didn't kill the elven girl. You didn't see what happened. You weren't awake.
Bubba's thoughts currently are shifting towards the body, having seen the body, and like, well, you're not getting any, like, visual information or anything, but just thinking about, like the body and everything, and you get a sense of, like genuine, like, I'd say, I don't know if horror is the right word, but, like, genuinely not like, not being happy about the situation, being a little bit scared about the situation, and all of it. And Baba just says, no, of course I had nothing to do with it. I've been telling you so many times. What else do you want me to tell you? What can I tell you? I was sleeping. That's it.
Okay. Can I? Let me just double check the spell's description. Yes, I can swap to a different target.
Yes.
Can I, at this point, swap to the father of the elf?
Yes. Yes. I mean, you can yeah, because you can, like, you can search for anything thinking around, and they are like, you can attempt to see if you can find the father in there.
Yeah. Please.
All right, yeah. Yeah, and by the way, you have 15 seconds left to think. But yeah, as you shift the thoughts, you do find the father. I'm thinking right now whether whether it should be taking, like, a little bit of time to find somebody when you've got, like, several people around you, but yeah, I mean, in this case, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the surface thoughts are very hostile and angry, and you just, like, the father's just thinking about, like, who it could be, and like, he's just thinking he's gonna kill whoever it was.
But there's no guilt, is there, in the surface?
You don't sense any guilt right away on the surface. Yeah.
Yeah, there could be some, but yeah. And is that the time used up?
No, because I paused it while I was telling you about it. So you still have a little bit.
Can I switch to the mother, or try to?
Yes. Grief. yeah, both of them are just sad about the situation. And that's the end of your magics.
Well, I suppose everything checks out with what you've said and what others have said. Personally, I don't think you're the culprit here.
That's what I've been saying, says Bobbert.
Yeah, but Bobbert, you remember you've also been accusing everybody else. I mean, you accused the innkeeper himself of being the
Either
culprit
way.
first thing we met, so...
How about we lighten the load around here, and Mort, you can escort Bobbert up to his room.
To the room?
His
Upstairs?
bedroom. Yeah.
Okay.
And then during the time that they're walking out, I'm going to convey what I heard or thought to everyone here. Basically, I don't think he did it. He seemed honest on his surface thoughts. Just seems like a bit of a idiot, really. I mean, nothing.
Oh, we're in agreement there. Don't you worry, Fred. He's been an idiot.
And then I will also share that I briefly read into the father and mother's mind, and there's no guilt in particular. So it's not like they accidentally did something, from what I can surface level tell. They're both still very unhappy, and justice in this case appears to be the death of the killer.
Well, yeah.
For what it's worth.
I assumed as
in
much.
case anyone here wanted to bring the killer to prison. But you know what? Never mind. That was a silly thing to ask. Of course, we would be on board with killing him.
Okay.
That is the way we do it, isn't it?
I'm gonna interject real quick and note that with detect thoughts, while you're surface probing, you don't really get that like deep emotional idea. So it's not exactly very reliable in that sense. If you're looking for somebody having like an overbearing sense of guilt, like it specifically says, like, you know, if you probe further, then you get insight into its emotional state and such.
Yeah.
But like some surface thoughts are gonna, of course, like give you that.
It's not repeatedly, oh, I shouldn't have let her go with that guy. I shouldn't have let her go with that guy.
Yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, you can, yeah,
for.
Yeah.
It would have been an obvious thing that I was looking for.
Yeah.
And so then I think next we should speak to the person who had the letter, which, as we all know, checking from our notes, was Calderon. And I, of course, knew that without checking it as well. But I just wanted us all to be on the same page. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Calderon seems like a real squirmy individual to my eyes.
So we shall question him. I think we go into the magic sooner rather than later on this one, and so that we're not repeating questions, because that might be a bit odd. So let's prep what questions we're going to ask in what order. So we'll ask him, what is the letter we found in your room? Yeah?
I mean, I can open with that for sure, because I found that letter, and it's a bit incriminating from what I can tell.
Who gave it to you?
I think we should pull this off as like an accusal. We want to accuse him of doing this. So, well, we found this letter in your room, and there's a dead person. Right now, the clues aren't looking that good for you along those lines.
Janice, are you suggesting that I get a little rough with old Calderon as we bring him in? Or should we...
No. We just want to make him talk.
Okay, sounds good. I just want to make sure, because it means, like, hey, if you need some muscle, I got you. But, like, I'm with you. Like,
I think we want to put him in a position where he feels that he has to defend himself, or he has to tell us something to show us that he isn't guilty.
Sounds good to me.
And I'll go from the start, basically, with the spell. Yes or no?
Sure.
Basically, yeah, as soon as he sits, you want to subtle spell him with it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And we
Or
can go guns a blazing from when he sits
And
down.
do you want to take the questioning then, and we'll keep quiet because then you can ask questions that respond to his thoughts, basically? Or
Yes. Do you want to just run me past anything burning on your mind? What's
no,
the letter?
basically, I'd just
Um,
say that this letter that we found in your room paints a bad picture. We're looking for a murder suspect, and well, right now you're at the top of our suspects lists, so something along those lines. I don't know.
Okay.
and do you want to make it subtle, or should I just give you a little nod when he's like 10 feet from the door but still outside?
No, I can be sitting at this down
Okay.
waiting for him.
I don't know how this magic works, so it sounds good to me. But I just wanted to make sure if you wanted to cast it before he got in here. But either way,
I was thinking about doing that.
I will lead Bobbert out back and let him go back up the staircase, and I'll just kind of motion over to Calderon, be like, "Hey, you with the long black hair, come here. I got some questions for you." And just give him an old little that Stone Home style welcome that I'm accustomed to.
All right. Calderon has arrived and sits
he's
down.
So I will subtle spell, cast detect thoughts. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's remove the points, and then I'm going to start speaking to him.
Well, do you want to? Now I'm going to remind you. Do you want to hear the first thoughts?
Oh yeah.
First. Yeah.
Initially.
Yeah. So Calderon is first of all sitting down is just staring at the fireplace, and what you're getting from your detect thoughts is just like thoughts about the fireplace, and he's just staring at it and just like that's all you're getting
That's a
right now.
fireplace.
Yeah. That's fire.
Ooh, hot. So my opening question will be: we found something incriminating in your room. Explain the letter.
As you ask this, Calderon's thoughts don't seem to shift anywhere. He's still just thinking about the fireplace, and he replies to you. Just, I don't know.
You don't know about the letter found in your own room?
Calderon says, I don't know anything about anything.
So you're guilty of the murder then?
He just says, I don't know anything about anything.
Okay. Donnie would notice he's just staring at the fireplace, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm going to step up and try and similar tactic to our previous friend, just try and like physically intimidate him as bad cop. That, hey, listen, I know you know at least more than that fire's hot, okay? What you got to share? He said it was an intimidation check.
Sure.
Okay. The slow roll +1. What you got? What you got? What you got? D20. Ooh, 19. D20's being slow but good today. We'll take
it. Calderon's thoughts still seem to be just repeating sort of the fireplace, and but he just he says don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm going to bonus action, unsettling words, using a D8 to bardic inspiration to decrease his next saving throw. And then I'm going to, after that, try and force my way deeper into his mind. So let's roll the D8. Please be good.
I like it.
Oh, okay. And then he's got to roll that saving throw.
16.
Yeah, yes. 16
Yeah,
minus
okay.
2, so essentially 18.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it fails. You're in.
Like a hacker moment.
Yeah. So
Now get the juicy stuff.
yeah. So you find in Calderon's mind, you find a sort of pretty empty place. Sort of clearly Calderon's very single-minded. He's thinking about some mission very like acutely, and just like is sort of just very, seems to be very tense about this whole situation, and is trying to clearly, like, I mean, you obviously already picked up on it, but is clearly trying to like block everything out right now, suspecting you would pull off something like this. So so they, yeah, I mean, based on this information, you can and everything else, you can tell that this person is a professional, and like this isn't their first rodeo, so to speak. So they're not really nervous in a way. They're just very focused on like doing this and getting this done, and they are focused on not saying anything.
I then say, was she the target?
Calderon just says again, says no, no, doesn't say no. Says I don't know anything about anything. But within yeah, so now it's intelligence check versus intelligence check. So
is that but if, like, regardless of whether it's subtle spelled or not, that's just
yeah, because at this point they know that you are like in there.
Oh, okay.
Regardless, like the subtle, the subtle spell. Sorry if I was clear, but the subtle spell simply just erases the fact that they know that you cast the spell in the first place. So the surface thoughts are the only thing that is like completely covered.
Okay.
But if you are probing in, they will know. So yeah, they are now aware that you are probing their mind. And yeah, now it's an intelligence check versus an intelligence check. So so yeah, roll 1, please.
Oh, a flat intelligence check.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going slowly on my end. A 15, okay. Or is that right? Why is it saying 0 plus 2?
I don't know what the 0 is there, but yeah.
It's right.
Yeah. But yeah, so when you are probing deeper, you so when you probe deeper, you get that one free action, as you're the one using your action to probe. But on their next turn, they have the ability to then contest it with an intelligence check of their own to try and push you out. And yeah, they fail. Calderon fails right now. So yeah, right now you as the as the question was about the girl being the target, Calderon's like really trying to focus on like keeping thoughts away. You can clearly tell, and they are trying to push you out, but you get like a crack in there, and you I'm guess I'm thinking about what you would get out of it. You
Get a mental image of Janice.
no, you get an idea of the girl from Calderon, and from it you know from it that the girl is not part of Calderon's plan. In fact, Calderon's feeling this whole thing with the girl dying has apparently thrown like a stick into the gears of this whole plan. So whether Calderon's done it or not, that you don't know yet, but you know that the girl was not supposed to be in the plan.
The next thing I ask is, who was your target? Oh no, who is your target?
Calderon says, I don't know anything about anything, and tries to push you out again. So intelligence check.
Intelligence. Come on. Oh, spicy.
Oh, you just beat a 20. Calderon had a 20. So 21 wins. So you're still in there, and you see the gnome.
Ooh, okay.
All the other stuff as is, but yeah, you see the gnome there. You have about 15 seconds left.
Okay, so the next thing I will ask will be who's your employer?
Calderon answers, I don't know anything about anything. And
oh, what a surprise.
Are there like beads of sweat running down his face now?
No, not yet. But another intelligence check here. And we'll see.
Oh, okay. Well, it was fun whilst it lasted.
Yeah, you are unfortunately booted out, and and Calderon just says, you have nothing to do with this, just let it be.
Now, I'm going to look him dead in the eyes and say, this can go one of two ways. We can either let him and his bodyguard know, or you can confirm whether or not you did anything to her.
Calderon says, you don't intimidate me, I don't know anything about anything.
Okay, well, I hope you like fighting a Goliath, then. Good luck. I wouldn't want to be you. And then I will nonchalantly to the rest of the party say, so he was actually targeting the gnome, believe it or not. And yeah, the girl has just got in the way, not related to the plan, just a spanner in the works.
So did he kill her, or?
It's not clear.
Well,
we could reasonably kill him just for, being an assassin. That would be fair, wouldn't it?
So
Calderon's face is still completely like blank, is not giving out any sort of emotions about anything.
So
He's quite a specialist, though. So
hearing what Fred said, as well as Calderon mentioning that he's not at all afraid of Fred, Don is just going to step up and bop him in the nose with the back of his glaive and be like, "Oh, is that so? You ain't afraid of us? Interesting." So, what would you like from that dupe?
An attack roll.
Okay, polearm bonus attack roll. Ooh, the natural 3.
Yeah, so yeah, it doesn't seem to do much. You sort of like Calderon doesn't flinch. Which actually, yeah, I mean that. Sorry, that actually means that you hit. So yeah, so roll damage, please.
Some bludgeoning damage to the face for Calderon, I suppose.
All right. Yeah, you connect. Like Calderon doesn't even seem to attempt to avoid the attack, and just like now his face is just bloody, his nose is bloody, and his whole demeanor is still just the same. Like he's just stone cold. He's just blank there, bleeding. His nose is bleeding. He's just sitting there, staring at the fire still, and just like no expressions.
Donnie's just gonna lean in after it, bopping him in the nose like that. Like, "So you're someone like me. I see you. You ain't afraid to cause some turmoil on some individuals. You're just trying to keep it on the low key. I understand. But listen,
Calderon says, as you say, like you're like me. You like for the first time you sort of seem to get some real response out of there, as Calderon just like still like everything is still like holding, but you just sense like that sliver of emotion coming out of there as he just says, "We're nothing alike."
You and I are two sides of the same coin.
Hey, people that look like you always tell me we're nothing alike. Based on my experience, not exactly true most of the time. Okay? And I won't hit him again, but I'll let him get up if he's trying to stand up and leave.
He's just sitting there.
Okay.
Staring at the
what we're
fire.
Do with you, because I don't really mind. I mean, I don't have anything against the gnome. I don't have anything against you. Really, I'm just trying to do my job.
How about we send him back out? There might be something.
Yeah, I second the idea of us having a quick council in the room by ourselves. After we dismiss Calderon, so I'm with Janice on that.
Let's just make sure we've got someone watching him. Mort, thanks for volunteering to keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't actively go and attack someone. You can watch him from the doorway and still hear us whilst we sit him down at the table where Bobbert was at. Oh, what's that? You agree to that, Mort? Oh, great.
Oh, Mort's the best bodyguard in all the land. I appreciate his willingness. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, so headcanon, Mort is by the door watching him to make sure he's not going to stand up and march over to the thing. Although then again, I think the bodyguard would also deal with it at that point. So
and
Mort's just keeping an eye on the door.
We're alone again. Do realize that the gnome is sent here on imperial presumed order to investigate people with dragon marks. Like
yeah, that's why I don't mind if he goes, but at the same time, we don't know it. We could get some useful information from him. It wouldn't. He's got a pretty strong fellow there, so I wouldn't really want to actively antagonize him. And if he knows Walton Rich on a personal level, first name basis, this might end up a bit sketchier for us.
Yeah, but it sounded to me, and I was just over listening a little bit, like potentially old Callie over there was trying to whack Stopdick or Slopdick over there and just messed up. So should we pull in old Sloppy and his big old bodyguard and let him know that they were the actual target? Or what are we going for here? Because I think that might be a bad or a good suggestion rather. Because as old Bobby told us, they seem to be quite on to who could potentially be causing these crimes. I'm just suggesting.
Well, from an investigatory standpoint, I believe that we are all satisfied that um, Sloptic is who he says he is, correct?
Eh,
That he is actually some sort of researcher with an official decree and stuff like
He
that.
seems funded and happy enough for us to verify with Walton Rich his identity.
Mhm.
You don't throw around the name of Walton Rich without a means to back it up.
Yeah,
Truly
and
noted for the future, but okay.
what this implies to me is, I mean, it's a bit unpleasant perhaps for you to think about, but I mean, doesn't this already mean that he's innocent?
Who?
We can't realistically accuse Sloptic of having committed the murder.
Yeah, no, I'm going to.
SJ's getting lost a little bit with the connection
Okay,
there.
it's not just me. I thought my
No,
internet
no.
had gone again. Okay.
No, I'm with you. I don't think Sloptic did it either. I think we appreciate his perspective as another potential professional in our shoes, and we let him know that what it seems like is old Callie over here that we just talked to was potentially trying to reach him and not the elven girl. That's what I was suggesting. I'm down for whatever though.
Wait, can you guys hear me still?
You are being quite
Maybe
robotic.
so.
Your connection's being a little bad.
Okay. Can I do
Okay
anything
for me,
about
Fred,
this?
but you do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you're
I'm just
okay
saying-
right now.
I'm just saying that Slopdick doesn't seem like a suspect to me, but rather a potential person of similar stature to us we could speak to about his thoughts and let him know maybe he was the target of a killing instead.
Well, although the bodyguard could still be a suspect, but I don't know what the motive there would be.
She
Well,
offended his master.
So you could ask how much they were paying. I'm gonna wager it was a healthy wage. Slopdick looked pretty well off to me, but I mean I'm up for whatever. Maybe the bodyguard is getting a little bit reckless, a little bit restless. He's not getting paid enough. But it seems more to me like potentially the individual here, Callie, was trying to kill Slopdick and got the wrong individual in front of that balcony and killed the wrong person. I don't know. We also should. I also would wager that talking to Phil Rack wouldn't hurt us because I strongly believe that Phil Rack knows roughly an idea of who might have done it and is just trying to act like they ain't no snitch. That's my vibe I'm getting from Phil Rack.
I do think we talk to Phil Rack next.
I agree.
Nothing else. I show off my dragon mark, subtle flex. But we do need to see her hand, see if it's a scratch from an altercation, like Kate said last session, or whether it's a dragon mark.
So just to be clear, are you asking me to help potentially alleviate any questions involving that mark and be a little rough with Silrak, or what are you asking for?
No. Just friendly, we're not trying to cause harm. We don't want to make her suffer for telling us the truth. She
However,
should be rewarded.
But what if Phil Rack doesn't want to talk? Then I'm saying, what do? Are we being bad cops or are we being super nice about it?
Well, then Feared simply reads her mind again.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I think we
The
should
voice of God comes to you and suggests that you talk to people more and less amongst yourselves, because you need to find those you need to find information instead of just talking about stuff you got, because you might be missing vital information that you would get from talking to people or investigating them. So
okay.
Remember to keep people coming in more than just like talking about who to talk.
Sure. So make sure we're on the same game plan before we bring him in. Sir, I'm gonna go over to the door and give a little wave at Phil Rack and say, "Hey, Dragon Lady, come here. I got a couple questions for you." And I'll let her come on in.
All right, Phil Rack's arrived and is sitting down, still holding her hand.
Phil Rack, the first question we had was, so can you describe to us again what you do for a living? When we briefly searched for clues, we noticed a lot of weapons were in your room, and you mentioned that you live in Redonia. Are you perhaps some sort of smith yourself or salesperson?
Philrax says, "No, nothing of the sort. I'm sort of like you people."
Oh, so you're an adventurer, or you'd a blade for hire, or
yes, a traveling warrior, not exactly an adventurer.
Mm-hmm. And what were you doing at the time that this incident occurred again?
I was sleeping, as I said.
Then could you explain to us why we found a half-sharpened blade in your room?
She says, "Well, I have been sharpening it. Didn't finish it yet. I was going to finish in the morning."
Can I insight check that?
Yep.
Okay.
She's hiding something.
I'm just gonna, without even hearing an answer or feeling anything, let's be real. Who sharpens half a blade before they go to bed? You sharpen it all, or you think it's already sharp enough? Let's be real, honey. Let's be real.
See, I agree with Donnie. Philrack, maintaining one's weapons isn't something that's just done halfway.
Philrex says, just looks at Donnie a little insulted and just says, I didn't come here to be lectured by adventurers, and seems to say adventurer with a little bit more contempt all of a sudden. And just says like, you don't need to talk down to me. I know how to maintain weapons.
Clearly not. Let's be real. I didn't come here to be some sort of police officer for a murder mystery. But alas, here we are. All I know is I have not once gone to bed with my blade half sharpened. It's either all sharpened or no sharpened. Okay? You can get all stingy with me all you want, but here's what I'm feeling. Maybe, just maybe, you were awake and you heard something. I don't think you did anything wrong, but I think you're aware that maybe some shenanigans were afoot. Okay?
Birex says, what if I was? I don't know anything, as I already said.
So you didn't hear anything. I mean, as soon as this incident occurred, you opened the door to your room. Did you see anyone immediately?
Philrek kind of sighs heavily and just says, fine. When it happened, I was sharpening my sword. And then she takes her hand off of the other hand, shows her palm, which has a fresh cut on it, and just starts saying, when it happened, I was shocked at the noise that came. My hand slipped, I cut my hand, and I put my stuff away. A little bit later, I came out of there, and that's it. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anyone. I just saw people coming out of their rooms. I saw the innkeeper's wife coming out, getting people. That's all I saw. I didn't hear anything. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
What it sounds like to me is you're affirming my previous insinuation. Maybe you were awake. I'm just curious. Understand? You didn't see much. Did you hear anybody running away after that potentially fatal accident happened? Perhaps to the right, or perhaps to the left. Okay.
Thilrex says, I didn't hear anyone running around. I don't have the sharpest ears. I didn't burst out to see what was happening. I'm sorry. I was shocked. My hand started bleeding. I took care of that first. So I don't know. Again, I don't know anything. All I heard was some regular noise outside. People, as people are speaking in the tavern, I could hear some mumbling outside. That's all I could hear. And then I heard the scream, and that's when I cut my hand, and that's when I started focusing on that, not what happened. I'm sorry, I don't know anything else. That's all.
Hey, you don't need to be sorry. I'm just appreciating that you're finally being honest. When you heard people yelling, was there any particular tone or like tremor to their voice? Or was it all just kind of, you couldn't quite tell it all? Somebody yelled, then somebody screamed, and then somebody died. Let's just be real.
Philrek looks at Dani and says, I didn't hear anyone yell anything about anything. I just heard the girl scream as she fell down. Surely you must have heard that as well. Why are you asking me these questions if you already know this?
Well, this is all just part of the investigative process. We have to just make sure that everyone's story lines up. And so far, everything you've said matches our collection of events so far. It's a bit upsetting to us that you initially withheld the truth, but now your story fits in well with what else we've heard. Feared, did you have any additional questions, or you want to do anything else?
Only thing I will ask is what have you heard whilst out there in the room with the others? Anything of interest since, or are they all just calling us incompetent?
Philrex says, there's been a lot of that, but I've heard the gnomes been telling us, or telling his bodyguard some theories about what happened. That's about it. I haven't really been eavesdropping on anyone.
Shall we dismiss you to your room? What is your thoughts, party?
I see no harm in this.
Nor do I. Unless there's any objections, you may go to your room.
All right. Philrek goes into the death zone as well.
Yep, they fight it out upstairs, and may survival of the fittest rule supreme.
Oh, there's 2 Philreks in her room.
There's also 2 barbers.
Yeah, but which one would be a more interesting fight?
All right.
A
Well,
farmer versus a farmer doesn't seem too interesting.
well, it's disturbing, or it's somewhat upsetting that she didn't tell us the whole truth the first time and felt the need to hide um, that scar of hers or the injury of hers. However, it does.
As
I
if
mean,
you would be 100% honest in this situation.
yes, but I am not a dragonborn sellsword.
I don't see your point. Let's just
Well,
bring in the next
regardless, I
person.
mean, what alternate reasons could she have to hide this scar? And why would there be a half-sharpened sword? I think we should move on to questioning somebody else.
Um,
Um,
I save a drow, and I'll use magic this time.
do we just want to straight up uh, magic ask him if he did it?
Yeah,
Okay, because we don't have any
any
special clues
information
on him.
about him. Yeah. So, do I need to? Let me just check what it said. As a bonus action. Okay, so I can do it pretty quickly. Uh, so yeah, I'm going to bonus action convert a 4th level spell slot in 3 sorcery points. God, bit of a waste, but hey. And yeah, we'll take it from when the drow sits down, I guess.
All right. The drow is there.
Um, so they sit down. I subtle spell, and then I need to upcast essentially, or no, I upcast. I use a 3rd level spell slot to
Mm-hmm.
cast the 2nd level spell. So do that, and I take 2 of my sorcery points, and then I have cast the spell, and I ask,
The drow's first
oh yeah,
thoughts
yeah.
are they they feel like they're currently feeling like it's just a waste for them to come here to be questioned again.
So you did it, did you? You killed her.
The drow says, no, like I said already before, I don't know. I don't even know who she is. I have nothing to do with any of this. And surface thoughts currently are just like, actually, it's still the same. The drow still thinks it's a waste of time to be here, to be questioned again, to be asked the same questions again.
What's your name?
They say, as I said before, it doesn't matter. And their their surface thoughts stay the same. They are not
And you
thinking about their name on the surface right now. No.
and you weren't sent by anyone to be here, or were you?
They say, I was only one who decided I was going to be here was me. Okay.
Hey, sounds good to me.
And
Oh, Paley McGee. Okay, that's what I thought your name was. So you alluded to me. So Paley McGee. I'm just curious. Like, this is your only real reason to be here, as in this night. But as far as I can tell, I ain't seen a lot of your type up here on the surface, present company excluded. So I'm just curious, if you had the option of 1 week of sunlight or every day of your life, you got to experience it for at least an hour, which are you taking? A week of continuous sunlight or just 1 hour every day for the rest of your life? What are you going with? I'm curious.
Okay, so first of all, Frid's detect thoughts ran out in that
No.
time, so it's over. But what you
Shut up! I'm trying to do something.
what you detected there on the way, I suppose the surface thoughts were sort of, again, it started with I shouldn't be here. They have no point in this, is a waste of time.
So I don't get
It's
anything from my question.
no, that's basically what your question ended up being anyway as well. Yeah, just like as Donnie brings up, Drow and the Underdark and everything, the elves' thoughts sort of shift kind of back there, and you sense like you sense like they're not good memories of the time there. So basically, based on what you piece together from these surface thoughts, this person has recently escaped out of the Underdark. Like clearly has like escaped their former life and is just on the run. That's sort of the gist of what you get. And they then they say to Donnie, they say, it's a ridiculous question. The sun's always there.
Oh, so you're just bad at actually dealing with any sort of imaginary scenario. Good to know. Okay. Doesn't seem to be a big fan of being up here, Fred. You got any other insight?
No, we're certainly taking our time with this one, aren't we, Donnie?
I took approximately 15 seconds. I don't know what's going to do the other 45, but okay.
So what do you plan on doing from now onwards?
The Drow says, my plans are no concern to you. It doesn't matter for this thing. Like I said, I have no idea who anyone is here. I was sleeping. I don't know anything about anything, okay? This is a waste of time. Just move on to the next one. Let me go, okay?
Hold on. You were sleeping, you say. Well, I happen to know that drows aren't exactly a big fan of the full 8-hour rest, okay? So let's both be real. You weren't sleeping. Maybe you were spending some time trancing, but you had other plans for this evening, didn't you?
The Drow says, semantics, I guess. I call it sleeping. We call it sleeping. I don't know about your elf friend here, but where I'm from, we call it sleeping.
Interesting. That's not what I know it as. If you want to try and get in the semantics battle, there's a dead girl outside. So semantically, I'm concerned as to a person who doesn't need to be asleep for 8 hours. Would you be concerned about such things as well? Perhaps? Or
The Drow says, I don't know what you're getting at. Just ask the questions straight if you have any. As I said, I don't know anything. Just want to be left alone, okay?
I'll look to Janice and I'll say, I'm not sure if we're going to get too much more out of this one. I think he's just going to drift on out of here the way he drifted on in, quietly by himself and without anyone to care for him.
All right. Well, I mean, his story does line up with what else we've heard, insofar as there's nothing to tell. Send him up to his room.
Send him up to his room. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You have 8 more people, or 10 if you include the parents. Who's next?
Well,
Before we get the next person in, I'm going to say to Donnie, how about I give you a cue when it's okay to start asking your questions?
I mean, I can ask questions when you want. I just saw you making zero headway in the avenue that you were trying to make. I figured while the time was ripe, I might as well ask a question from another angle in case we get an actual answer. That's all I was seeing. I can pipe down if you want, though. If you want to run this whole thing, and if we fail, it's all on you. That's fine with me. I'll be the bustle if you want, my man.
Okay, Mr. Move the Bodies. Sure. Yeah, I'll take the blame on this one. You're right. It's all on me.
I just saw 47 seconds of failed inquiry and figured we might as well offer 12 seconds of potential benefit. That's all I was saying.
I mean, I think that you never got to probing his thoughts at a deeper level, right, Feared? Or okay.
Well, my apologies. I didn't realize it was on me to dig deeper in spells. I will stay as deep as I possibly can from here on out. Who are you feeling? Yeah, I talked to old Sloppy. I'm pretty sure we left old Callie over there, who's our murderer, just hanging out by a table. But whatever you want.
Yeah, no, Mort's watching him.
If you remember your notes, Slapstick did offer to help with the investigation as well, so there might be some. Even if you don't suspect the gnome, they might have some helpful words.
Wait, you were offered help from somebody else while I was upstairs, and you didn't share that? We were offered potential extra resources.
We did share this with you.
We
briefed everything.
Well, why have we been going on this inquisition by ourselves this entire time? I'm not good at following clues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can call in Sloptic and his bodyguard next. I think we should tell him about Calderon's mission.
Should we be clear with who it is? Although I think that he would realize who it is if we.
Well, I think first of all, I don't think it's Sloptic, and I think telling him about this plot from Calderon could raise his estimation towards us, or maybe endear his trust to us.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we should ask him for his input too about what we should do next. Otherwise, I mean, Gian still seems a bit suspicious to me.
Yeah, with who we've got left, I think it might either be Gian or Tawny.
But regardless, do we want to call in Sloptic or I mean, it's Stonebrook somehow, Tharm, but I don't know. That's unrealistic. So do we want to call in Sloptic and Tharm?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, old Sloppy Toppy, come on in. We need your help. Thorn, I was wondering, how many push-ups can you do in a minute?
Thorn says, more than you, probably.
Oh, challenge accepted, my man. Let's go. And I'm
throwing down the gauntlet.
I'm going to try and distract Thorn by dropping down in the doorway in a push-up position and see if Thorn echoes my emotion.
I'm gonna ask for an athletics check here, just for fun.
Athletics check? Okay.
Yeah.
This could be the best roll of the entire campaign.
The anticipation.
I know what I'm hoping for, and it's not a 20.
I got a +8. Okay, 12. 20 total.
So you like drop down on the floor and get ready to like.
With a 20, I like almost backflip into a push-up position. But either way, I end up in that push-up. I was like, "You ready to go?" You ready to go? And
All
just
right,
trying to get
like
Thorm to not pitch, to slightly trying to distract Thorm from the
I
as far as yeah.
yeah. Are you like on? Are you on the carpet there, or are you?
Oh yeah, I'm on the floor on all fours, clearly ready to do a push.
But like I mean the rug by the fireplace, or like where in the room are you?
Oh, so like just to the left of the rug, so by the door, but on the hardwood still. And
Like
I assume that
so
Thorm.
you're in the way. In other words.
Well, no, I thought that Storm and Slop had already walked in, and like as they were walking in, I suggested.
All right.
So,
Okay. So
Storm's in
when
the
they are
room,
already.
yeah, but I'm like
Yeah.
guarding.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
blocking their exit in a push-up position at this point. Is what I was saying.
So yeah. So Thumb looks at you and scoffs and just says, "Sorry, I'm on the clock."
Sounds like a man who's afraid to lose, but that's fine. I'm just gonna pop myself back up to standing and be in the doorway once again.
All right.
All right.
I will stay quiet as my friends investigate and try and find anything from Slop.
Fear, do you want to take the lead on this, or should I?
Yeah. Okay. So, Slot, you said you'd offer us some help, and we're open to some of your theories, and we'd also like to share something. But please do tell me what you think's going on here.
Slaptuk says, "Yes, I have been observing the situation and also your conduct with it. You have not been the most subtle of investigators, but I'm sure you've found good amounts of information. If you have any, please share with me so I may form an even clearer picture of what's happening. But based on what I've seen, what I've heard in the room there, I even shared this with Thom here. I think this there might be a little bit more going on in this inn than just this one death, and I think there might be more than one suspect who could fit the bill. So I think what you really would need to figure out is what could the motive have been. Like, who are these people? That is the biggest question. I still do not know. These elves, I have no idea who they are. And as far as I've heard, nobody else seems to know anything about them either. So that's the biggest question I have. Unless, do you know? I don't think you've actually asked them any questions, but have you found anything?
We've found bits and bobs of nuggets of information. We can reasonably cancel out some people in their suspicion of being guilty. You are included in that number. All the people we've sent upstairs, with most of them, we're competently sure that they haven't done anything. The drow is a bit uncertain, but it does not seem likely either.
Slaptuk says, I think the people you've moved upstairs are on the short list for me as well as being innocent. I don't believe any of them would have done it.
Now, family themselves, we haven't spoken to, as they are rather reasonably in a bit of a distressed place right now emotionally, and some members of our party have less tact than the combined average, and we could ask them directly, but I feel that likely won't be the most fruitful. But yes, as you said, we do have several shady characters about, and there are some subplots here. Some nefarious deeds are certainly going on. Not all of them related to this murder of this girl, but yeah.
Slapstick says, so you have determined that it is indeed a murder, have you?
Not entirely, but we are getting such a feeling.
Mhm. In fact, do we want to talk the one of these characters? In fact, Calderon. Have you ever seen Calderon? That is the elf that is still
At
sitting
the table.
downstairs at the bench by the table. Have you seen him before?
Slapstick says, I don't believe I have. Thom, have you? And Thom just says, no.
Well, we will share something that we would like you to act upon it not immediately, if that's possible, as I don't think it's a matter of the utmost urgency, and you clearly are very capable. But it's a courtesy of us to tell you that he was hired to kill you, sir. Now,
Slapstick seems not as alarmed by this as you would expect, and just says, "Oh, I see. How do you know? How do you know this?"
well, we found his hiring letter. He received information about a target, and through our interrogation of him, or questioning, if you will, we confirmed that it was you as his target.
Slapstick says, "Oh, interesting, interesting. Can I see this letter, please? If it is about me."
Yeah, we can show the letter and say we confirm the details of the target through magical means.
Slapstick says, "Oh, yes, 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 yes," and reads it. Target has been found, following for a while before taking care of. Aha, okay, so this is what it's been about, Thom. See, we have figured out that somebody's been tailing us for a while here. I did not know it was this elf. I would not have suspected that they would be as brave as to come to the same inn as we are staying in. But again, I need to ask you, how do you know they were going to kill me? The letter doesn't say anything about killing. This is clearly a letter written by the elf to be sent out to their boss. Perhaps they are here to spy on me rather than
Take care
anything.
of is reasonably clear, and from the magic, it seemed quite clear. No, not ever explicitly said that he wanted to kill you, but the impression was very strong.
You see, this man was a or is a professional, and was very well trained to uh, not give any details from himself.
Getting as much
Slapstick
information as we got out of him was quite difficult.
Slapstick says, yes, well, that sounds more like somebody the Academy would have sent after me. So, yes, I doubt that they would be looking to kill me. I think they are just here to keep an eye on my work.
Why would he have to take care of you?
It probably refers to some sort of sabotage of my work.
Do you have lots of enemies then?
Well, not outright enemies, but you know, this is the way Academy business works. It's completely legitimate.
Interesting.
So, what would you like done with him, if anything? Or shall we leave that to you?
Sloptic says, you don't need to worry about that. I have Thom here to protect me if they indeed are here to kill me, which I highly doubt. Why would the Academy send somebody to kill me? That would make no sense. But Thom will take care of me, won't you? Thom just nods and says, yes.
Mhm. Okay, good. Well, back to the topic of the current situation. After we looked upstairs, Tharm, you said you were guarding the doorway. Were you sitting in the seat next to the entrance to the suite?
Thom says, yes.
Mhm. So you had a, a clear vision on who entered and exited the doorway opposite where the elven family was staying. Did you notice the girl leaving beforehand, or um, had she, or did the parents enter the room alone when they went in?
He says, I didn't see anything. You immediately notice that he's a little bit nervous about this.
Hmm. But I mean, surely you must have seen when the parents entered the room.
Um, he says, yes, I saw them all go inside the room. Yes,
All of them, including the girl.
yes.
Um, can I insight check that?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Um,
yeah. I mean, you can still just tell that Thumb's for some reason a little bit nervous about this line of
yeah.
questioning.
Oh, okay. So, but um, if you saw all three of them enter this room, surely you must have noticed when um, the girl left the room. I mean, you were less than 5 feet away from the doorway. Did she sneak past you somehow?
Thumb says, I don't know, maybe there's a hidden passage or something. I don't know. I was guarding the door. I was looking. I saw everything.
How is Sloptic reacting to this information?
Slapstick seems to just be happily just listening in and doesn't seem to really react in any special way. Yeah.
Okay. Um,
But yeah. Slapstick seems to be just normal. Thumb seems to be nervous.
I have a question for you. Do you, if you're on duty, do you ever, how do you go about relieving yourself? Because you obviously can't leave your post and leave your clients unguarded. But when nature calls, nature calls.
Thumb says, we take care of that along with the client. And Slapstick just says, yes, we go together.
Well, we did search the room that the elves were staying in for clues, and Sloptic, this may interest you too. Initially, we suspected that these elves may be, I don't know, perhaps some form of nobility or something like that, but we didn't find anything particularly out of the ordinary, and we definitely didn't find um, any uh, secret exits to their room that the girl could have used to slip past Tharm.
There's no
Slap
space on the building for that to
Slapstick
even happen.
Slapstick says, I never thought they were any nobles. Why would you think that? They look like peasants.
Oh, yes, well, we didn't think they were, but perhaps travelers traveling incognito or something, this presents easier possibilities as to the question.
Slapstick says again, "Oh well, you make a good point, but again, you should maybe ask the family themselves. You probably need to talk to them. I would not try to talk to that man, but the mother. If you could separate them, the mother could probably tell you something."
Mm-hmm. Ba-ba-bum. Well, that is probably a good suggestion. Feared, what do you think?
I believe we can get some information out of the two of them. One or the other potentially. Yes, that's definitely doable. We'll leave you be then, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for the advice, then, Sloptic. And yes, we will, of course, call upon your counsel again should we find further clues or mysteries that have stymied us for the moment.
Thumb suddenly kind of speaks up as you're about to dismiss them both, and just says to Sloptic, says, "Master, could you stay here for a while? I trust these people. If I were to go and take this Tortles contest challenge up, would that be okay if I just took a minute of time off?" And Sloptic says, "Yes, I guess if you want to blow off some steam, yes, I trust these people as well." And Sloptic looks at Frid and Janice and just says, "You wouldn't kill me, would you?"
No, we wouldn't see the need. What would it gain?
All right. Then Thumb goes up to Donnie and just says, "So could we go out and do this?"
Uh-oh.
Donnie stands up in a daze. His eyes just glazed over. He can't see anything. He's just a statue. It's almost as if he's asleep.
All right. I guess Jake's not up for it then.
Yeah.
I guess you have a minute alone with Sloptic though. If you have any further questions there.
You don't think his behavior was a bit odd? He didn't accidentally do anything, did he? I know he clearly values your relationship, your working relationship, and wouldn't want to endanger that. You don't think there's any chance that he accidentally did something, do you?
Slopstick says, "No, of course not. I trust Thom very much. I don't think there's any reason to suspect him. He's a simple fighter. I wouldn't think too much into it."
Could it happen that he perhaps fell asleep while guarding your door and thus didn't see the victim exit the room?
Um. Sloptic says, "No, that would be ridiculous. Of course, that didn't happen. I pay Thumb good money, and
Mm-hmm.
Tom is very well, has very good credentials.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that alleviates that concern then. All right.
Okay. Tom returns in here, and they then leave. Tom and Sloptic, and say the Sloptic just says, "Well, good luck with the continuation of your investigation. Hopefully, you find some more information, and again, try and figure out who these people are."
Yeah. All right.
I say we
Um,
go in magic blazing into the other room. Suggestion
yeah,
spell on the father and potentially on the mother as well.
but
Magic blazing, just
I mean, I'd
finger
suggest that
guns.
do we suggest the mother to come with us and answer the questions or something like that? I don't know. Can you suggest someone to calm down?
Here's what I plan on asking. I suggest you calmly help us with our investigation as we need it, which leaves it open to a fair bit of room, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I think we will leave it at that since we have dwindled
Yeah.
down to 2 people here.
Fair enough.
Also, with suggestion, I'm not saying that's not going to work. It might work, but do always take into account the point about it being a reasonable suggestion, and that can be subjective to the subject,
Yeah.
whether they find it reasonable. But yeah, I'm not saying that's not going to work. It might work. It might not work.
Depends on the
Um,
wording, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, they presumably have um Fey ancestry. I don't know.
It's not. Is it charming them? I don't think it is.
Is suggestion charm?
No, because charm is its own kind of thing.
Oh,
Specific right?
I don't
Yeah,
think I don't think it plays
creatures
into
that can't be
suggestions.
charmed that are immune to this effect, but they're not immune to being charmed. They just have saving throws against the charmed condition. So I think it's similar, but it's not the same.
I'll look into that for next time.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I think it would be possible to find a I mean, the one you said, Fear, that you suggest that they help us in their investigation. I think that's pretty good if we formulate it in a way that they're
Please help us bring the killer to justice by peacefully helping with the investigation.
Yeah. Something like
Something,
that.
yeah.
Worth a shot.
And something I will say now, I mean, not game related. I don't know. I should be able to, I think, come to next session, but I will be in Germany using data if it works. So I might be able to make it work. I might not. Just a heads up that it might not be available because
Where in Germany?
In between Hanover and Hamburg. The dates
So
of the
pretty northern then.
yeah.
Cool.
The dates of my family holiday were not what I thought it was. I thought it was not go. We were going to be back before then, but turns out we're leaving at some point. Yeah.
England isn't in the EU anymore. Does that mean you have to do roaming? Roaming data?
I'd have to do data anyway because.
Well, but in the EU, there is no difference in cell contracts across country borders. But
I don't know. I'd have to check my phone contracts.
Okay.
If not,
but anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Thanks for let us know, and yeah. So we'll continue on from here. I must say I was not expecting you to take over 2 sessions investigating this mystery. But I'm glad that you still find new things to do.
Well,
Push up
with it, and
contest.
you're I mean, you're getting there. I can tell you that I have my full confidence that you will at least come to the you'll come to a conclusion for sure.
in retrospect, it probably would have been better if we had gone full out on investigating clues first, and then in one round of interviews we could have avoided
Yeah.
the second round, basically. And also, we should have probably magically somehow dealt with the parents.
Yeah, Donnie kind of went in guns a-blazing before I could really cast
But
suggestion on them.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
but
we the golden arrow that we basically haven't used or missed is speak with dead. But
I don't think we'd be able to do that. I also don't know if I don't know if Fred would be too happy with going directly against the parents' wishes for their recently dead daughter. It just kind of seems like a real dick thing to do. It
I
seems a bit
mean,
too authoritarian.
this whole scenario raises all sorts of questions on how crime scene investigation would be done in a world where you can literally resurrect the victim and ask them what happened. But
yeah, but although resurrection is very, very expensive.
sure.
Very expensive. But yeah, anyways, that is all for today, though. Apparently, we will continue on with the investigation next week.
I'll write up my notes again.
Yeah,
and
yeah. New notes, new thoughts, and yeah, we'll see how it goes next week.
all right.
Okay.
I wish
Thanks.
you all a good
Right.
week.
Hope
Bye-bye.
you
Bye
feel
bye.
better next week.
Yeah, me too.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. All right. So that's it for today. Thanks everybody for joining in on the session. Again, I was not expecting them to take over 2 sessions to get through this, but we will next time have some more mysteries. Next week is pretty packed full of all kinds of streams. Otherwise, we are doing Chocobo GP on Tuesday and Saturday as Season 2 drops in. We will also continue Final Fantasy 9. Oxygen Not Included has an update that we're going to be checking out. And then this continues on Sunday. Well, that's it for today. And I'll see you next time. Bye.